It's just a comment that as a comment and a question. It's bewildering to see people stating facts and then seeing a whole pile of shaking heads. And my thoughts turn to the things that you say that you want to involve us all. We would love to be. So have you any very short ways that you can email us? We all have to get involved in our community. This is a pivotal election. We are very concerned about the rates. I know we're told we shouldn't worry and just go hold everything's good, but we're all very concerned. I think we're all terribly keen to actually get involved. And so, question quickly, how on earth can any of you pledge to try and make contact with us and keep us involved in the debate?
There is one more question here. You have to be quick.
Come on.
How can we keep you involved? And I think it's a really sensible question. First of all, you've got to vote. And that's the number one thing at the moment. It was 30-something. When I first thought it was over 60% of people voted in local government elections. It's dropped so drastically. It's just really so undemocratic. And I challenge you, that's the number one issue that you can do for all of us, is to actually make sure that everybody votes. But the other thing is, I'm a believer in public meetings and calling community boards and to organise public meetings so everybody can be involved. As I said to you, some people are quite shy and don't want to ask questions, but they listen and they come away and think about the question afterwards. So we're all on the web, we're all contactable, and we want to actually involve everybody. So you're shaking your head, man?
Not everybody uses social networks.
Well said. Use social networks?
Don't use Facebook, don't use email. There's a lot of people that do not use that. You cannot rely on that as your only way to communicate, or one of the few ways.
Absolutely, totally agree.
Thank you so much.
I agree with you, not everybody's on social media, but we do need to make better use of it as well. The newspaper's pretty much dead. That's really hard. I just think we need a more humble council that actually goes out with questions and not answers all the time. That to me would be a huge change. What do you really think before we start? It is hard sometimes to get engagement, but it drives me nuts when you sort of go, well, why are we doing this? Oh, we did community consultation 5 years ago, and everybody's forgotten. So I think we need to get out and talk to people openly, and be open to the ideas of others, and have a more humble council. Social media is strong, it's very useful, I'm all over it, but we also have to find other ways as well. Carol, you're right.
I'm always really keen to hear from the community. My door's always open, both from councillors and community. I'd love to meet people in their place, in the community, whether it's a community group or whatever. When we go out for consultation, we do use a variety of methods, whether it's social media, whether it's a flyer for particularly important things, public meetings, and so on. But it is a challenge. A lot of people don't actually take much interest in local government. That's a country-wide issue. A great find a solution. If you've got any ideas, please tell me. But it is difficult, but we do try to engage in all this. Thank you.
The question, if I heard it right, was linked to rates as well. Very shortly, in 2 years' time, you're going to get your water, your wastewater, and your stormwater potentially, maybe, in a separate account from whatever water company, a bit like Watercare in Auckland. That's either going to come monthly or 2 monthly. There's certainly room to attach a lot more information on that. We as council could potentially move to sending your rates demand for the residue amount, $2,000 or whatever. If $2,000 goes to Watercare, new company, $2,000 stay at rates for reserves and roading. We could charge that quarterly. We could include a heck of a lot more information. If I was the mayor, I'd have a community committee going around all our communities. I said it in Waihi Beach this morning. I'd bring the whole council to Waihi Beach, invite the 5 community board chairs to be part of it, get that information flowing. You can either come in person or, like I said, the avenue's there. If you don't follow social media, that's fine. But you might get it in your inbox or your mailbox, however you get your rates, and we could certainly go to quarterly, break up $2,500 a quarter.
Yeah, I agree with everything that's been said, particularly Margaret, town hall meetings. I think we should have more of these sort of meetings, you know, where everyone gets to hear all the questions and all the answers. Our staff, we've pushed for this in workshops with council, how we're going to run our consultation. And I've always said, and I think Donna supported me and Margaret supported me, that let's have more meetings like this. We had 6 on local waters done well. We had stations around the room, and staff presence and councillor presence, but you know, it's one-on-one, one-on-two, which is okay, but we only had 6 for such a big decision. I would have doubled that amount at least, and get out to the smaller communities, and you know, we can run events with councillors and without staff presence. The cost to bring the staff along to an event like that is horrendous, you know, because they're taking time in lieu after the meetings as well. You've got to remember that. So in terms of the emails, there's privacy issues there, so you've got to agree to share your email and get communications. But I agree that that would be a good option to get more going. Everyone's got an email address. And thank you.
Thank you. My concept of leadership, especially your elected leadership, is one where they have a commitment to building trust and legitimacy in the decision-making process. You can look to Te Ao Māori for that. Our concept of wānanga is where we talk openly and the decision is shaped visibly by a shared and contributed voice. I attended the kōrero from Uncle Winston, and I asked him this wonderful question, which I'd love to repeat for you. What if Māori wards were the perfect storm for lifting voter participation and leadership responsibility within local councils? Now, the Westminster model of governance is terrible for honesty. I don't ask the system for honesty, but I do ask it for coherence and credibility. That, for me, is firmly going to be anchored to the voices and views of whānau and community. Kia ora.